Our relationship with food is complicated. That's why it's best to look at it through the lens of a food system. A food system is an interconnected web of processes and complex relationships that take food from the farm to the plate and beyond. Food has been the enabling factor and center of our civilization for millennia, yet our relationship with it has undergone an unprecedented change in the past century. This change came from the birth of what is now known as conventional industrial agriculture, which is characterized as capital-intensive, large-scale, highly mechanized, extensive monocultures of crops, dependence on synthetic chemical fertilizer, herbicides, and pesticides, and intensive animal husbandry. Our food system is now monopolized by large multinational corporations and agribusinesses that supply heavily processed, packaged, traveled, and nutrient-depleted foods that are dependent on long shelf lives and global supply chains. It is no coincidence that our environmental, physical, mental, and spiritual health has declined since the advent of this new system. Food is at the intersection of many variables that determine not only our well-being, but the sustainability of our planet too. Unfortunately, our current food system is broken and it's in dire need of repair. Currently, 1 out of 3 people suffer from malnutrition. Over 700 million people suffer from hunger, all while 1.9 billion people overeat. On top of this, 1/3 of our food is never eaten and wasted. Our food system disproportionately burdens and denies communities of color and high poverty access to healthy food. And food system workers are some of the most economically vulnerable populations and often work in unsafe conditions. Urbanization and cultural changes have made us more removed from agricultural processes than ever before, causing mass food illiteracy. If these social shortcomings weren't enough, our broken system also creates negative environmental externalities as well. Our sources of fresh water are being depleted and polluted. 33% of soils are now degraded, and biodiversity is being threatened. Our food system is cannibalizing itself through perpetuating soil erosion, biodiversity loss, pollinator loss, and deforestation, all through intensive agriculture. In the US, 10 calories of fossil fuel energy is used for every calorie of food we consume due to the transportation, with a typical American meal traveling an average of 1,500 miles from farm to table. These issues will only be intensified by climate change and population growth and disruptions like the pandemic. None of these problems can be fixed with a single intervention. Rather, we need a fundamental paradigm shift in our food system. Food system transformation is essential, and luckily, it's already happening. Millions of people are taking action to reimagine our food system, and various solutions are arising to make our food system into what it could be. One that uplifts all people through the promotion of health and equity, all while being in harmony with our natural systems and even regenerating them. There's one solution that I'd like to highlight. Imagine with me, what if we had food growing right in our yards? Can you imagine the sense of community, self-sufficiency, closeness with nature, and commitment to sustainability this would create? This was not such a fantasy 70 years ago when the Victory Garden movement of World War I and II had over half of households gardening and producing over 40% of produce. Fleet farming is exploring now how we can make this reality happen again, but with the motivation of community building and resilience, not war. Fleet Farming is a non-profit hyper-local urban agriculture program based in Orlando that converts wasteful lawns into productive microfarms and gardens for the community, all with the power of bicycles. With help from volunteers and community support, Fleet Farming creates agri-hoods through building and maintaining organic microfarms from donated front yards. A portion of the harvest is given to the yard owner, while the rest is distributed to the community through markets and local restaurants. In their 8 years of operation, Fleet Farming has converted over 100,000 square feet of lawns, harvested over 7,000 pounds of produce, educated over 5,000 volunteers, and fed more than 5,000 members of the community. Fleet Farming is currently looking for new cities to bring their program to. Gainesville is not only a compatible candidate to be Fleet Farming branch, but has local issues that a program like this would help remediate. All we need is community buy-in and support, funding, a space for a home base, and participants and volunteers to do it. Want to help? Contact this email for more information.